Hello guys, you're welcome back again to my channel Dami Dimension. My name is Dami. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a beautiful puffy sleeve, kind of like a leg of mutton sleeve. So in order to get started, I have a pattern of a basic sleeve from my previous video that I have on my channel already. I'm going to be posting the link to that video in the description box so you can check it out if you haven't seen it. So in order to proceed, I'm going to be getting a plain pattern paper, and then I'm going to be placing my basic sleeve on top of it, and then I'm just going to trace it out just to duplicate it so I don't, interfere with my basic sleeve. Okay, so after tracing it out and duplicating it, you can go ahead and cut it out at this point. Take note that I also marked my center point just for reference sake, and I'm just going to connect the center point because I may need it as I proceed. So at this point, go ahead and cut out this sleeve. And once you're done cutting it out, you should grab a fresh pattern paper and place the sleeve on top of it. Don't mind me guys, I forgot to cut my sleeve at this point, but I cut it later on in the video. All right, so after placing your sleeve onto the fresh pattern paper, you need to determine how much of the sleeve you're going to be developing, because basically this leg of mutton puffy sleeve is the type of sleeve that you have the upper part puffy and the rest of the sleeve from the underarm to the hemline is regular fit. So from the underarm upward is where you are going to be developing. So I'm just going to determine how much I want to develop. Okay, and before I do that, I'm going to just make my center points a bit more visible. All right, you can extend the center line all the way up, and next I will draw a line from here to here. That's from my underarm, like that. And once that is done, I'm going to be taking 3 inches from this point downward, and that's how much part I want to develop basically. All right, and from that 3 inches, I'm going to draw another horizontal line that is parallel to the first horizontal line that I drew. Okay, and once that is done, then I'm going to take 4 inches along this curve, or you can simply measure around that curve. Okay, you can simply measure around that curve like this, and then find the midpoint, fold it into 2 like this, and the midpoint, just place the mark where the midpoint is. So mine is 4, that's why I have 4. So from that point I will draw a diagonal line to this point like this, and then I will repeat the same thing to the other side as well. Okay, and now this is at the point I realized that I need to cut my sleeve actually. So I just went ahead and I trimmed out the sleeve at this point. You should have done that after you finish duplicating your sleeve. It's pretty much the same thing. All right, so once I'm done cutting, now you have to start slashing the sleeve. So I'll slash from here and stop here. I'll slash this way and stop just before I finish cut. Like, I'm not just going to slash everything completely, I'm going to leave just about a tiny bit basically, so you can see what I'm doing from the video. So just slash it, slash so slash it. So once I'm done slashing, this is what I have. As you can see, it just remains just a tiny bit for it to cut off completely. So that's what I did, and now I need to spread them apart. So basically I didn't really decide or measure how much or how wide I want to spread it apart. I just gauge it basically how I feel is convenient for me. You don't have to be specific, there is no standard to doing this. Basically it depends on how much volume you have, but the basic thing you should keep in mind is that when you spread it, try not to make it go beyond 90 degrees to your center line. I will show you what I mean, but as you can see me, as I'm spreading, I'm just pinning it in place basically, and I try to keep the gap in between them the same basically. Okay, so try to make sure that you don't exceed perpendicular line to that center line. Don't let that top edge exceed beyond a 90 degree to that. So this is what I mean. For instance, now I'm trying to spread this one, and now it's at 90 degree to that center line, as you can see. So that's like the maximum I can go. I'm not going to go ahead and do it this way. It's way too much in my opinion. So that's just how much you can make it below the 90 degree or a bit more. Basically, you don't have to, you know, this is not so serious. It's so simple, right? So now that I'm done spreading one part, then I'm transferring the measurements here from the line to the tip of that corner, just to make sure that the other side is equal. So I'm just trying to spread the other part as well. So I'm just trying to measure the lines, and once I'm satisfied that it's equal, then I pin it down just to make sure that this side is the same as the other side. So I'm going to repeat the same thing to all of the panels. So I measure the distance from the one that I've done, and I transfer it to the one on the other side, basically. So measure, here is 10, here has to be 10 as well, basically, just for it to be the same, you know what I mean. All right, so once I'm done, as you can see, everything looks the same. What I have on this side is the same. So now I need to draw a curve that goes something like this. In order to draw that curve, I'm going to draw a straight line that goes from the tip of that last panel to the second tip, like that, and I just need to find the point that crosses that line. So it's just an imaginary line. So from that point, I'm taking 4 inches upward, and I'm going to draw the curve to pass through that 4 inches. Like I said, this is not a standard. You can freestyle. You can take, instead of 4, you can take 5, you can take 3. So once I'm done, I just cut it out. So just cut it out, and then grab your fabric and place the pattern on top of it, and then cut it out as well. All right, if you haven't added your seam allowance, remember to add it onto the fabric. As you can see, I extended my sleeve a little bit because my basic sleeve was a 3/4 and I wanted a long sleeve now. Okay, so after cutting it out, I also went ahead and notched the midpoint just for reference, and I'm also notching this point right here because I'm going to need it as well. So next, I'm just taking off my pattern, and now I'm going to be hemming the down part like this, and then I'll fold the sleeve into 2, and I will sew by my 1/2 inch joining allowance. And after that is done, I will open up this part, and I will run gather stitch from this notch right here all the way to the second notch right here. Now I'm done doing that. As you can see, I hemmed the down, I joined by 1/2 inch, and I also run my gathered stitch. So now I'm going to pull the stitches to form my gathers. As you can see what I'm doing. And after gathering, I have something that looks like this. When you gather, make sure that the size of this armhole on your sleeve is equal to the size of the armhole on your bodice or your dress, whatever you're making. Okay, so now I'm gonna go try this onto my mannequin so you can see the final result. So here is what this beautiful puffy sleeve looks like. This is gonna look so good on a blazer or a dress. Let me know down below if you want me to make a dress using this sleeve, or a blazer, or whatever you think is gonna be nice. Let me know in the comment section. Leave this video a thumbs up if you haven't already by now. What are you doing? I mean, if you haven't leave this video a thumbs up, what are you doing? Give me my thumbs up, okay? And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already as well, because I share a lot of sewing tutorials and pattern drafting. And try to follow me on Instagram at Dami Dimension, and like our Facebook page at Dami Dimension as well. We are going to be having a question and answer section pretty soon. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, try to do that, because that's where all the questions are going to be coming in, and we are going to be answering them on Instagram. I hope that's gonna be fun for someone. It's gonna be fun for me, I think. So yeah, thank you so much for this tutorial. Thank you for joining me today, and let's meet again in my next video. Bye bye.